Hey, hello, hi. It's your home slice, Davy Zane.
What's good, people? It's your boy Venom in the building. More bullets for y'all.
Wow, extra clicks and everything.
You see it? When I got the glasses on, yeah, I just get new
Here we go,
confidence,
here
new
we go.
energy. Okay, here we go. Venom in the building. Unpicked. You're so lucky. I'm gonna have to wear the glasses again. So next week we're actually doing the garage. We're actually
I'm
doing
not
it.
prepared.
No, we're actually doing it. I was thinking about it this weekend, and I was like, I haven't sent you the beat.
I thought
that
I
was
got
the
away
promise
with
I
it.
said. Nah,
I
no
thought
way.
I got away with it. But okay.
Next week.
I guess
we're
I'll
gonna
have
be
to
in
put
here.
pen to paper, find a booth.
Done, no?
You know, don't know.
All right.
I'm not going to repeat that. How was your week? How you doing?
Yeah, man. My week was good. Weekend was good.
Every time,
Chilling.
good. And I'm happy for you. I want it to be good.
I made some music. I haven't made music this year. Like, I've kind of just been chilling like a human being chilling, not chilling like a music producer chilling, you know what I mean?
I see.
And I was just waiting for the inspiration to hit me.
Mm.
And then I kind of felt like, oh yeah, make some beats this week. I was like, okay, I'll make some beats. I made some beats. Yeah, I enjoyed. And I went out to a hotspot.
Okay.
Yeah, that was cool too.
Well,
What
what
about yourself?
did I do this week? It's been a good week. I can't even remember.
Them ones.
I can't
It's been
even
good,
remember.
okay?
It's been a good week.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, man. I hope everyone out there's cool. Our family and that. Our Unpicked family. Those of you that listen to us, those of you that watch us, I hope you lot are all good. Let's get into it. Let's go.
Man.
Let's just go straight in.
Cool. Yeah. Let's go straight in. So I guess this week we wanted to touch on Miss Brittany Renner, author out there in the States, author of the book Judge This Cover, which kind of says she's calling to be judged, but anyway, she's in the socials and the blogs and the forums this week for the way people have been judging her and speaking about Black women in particular. So I guess that's where we're kicking off this week.
I'm gonna try my best. not to get triggered today.
Not to do up flames.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be trying to trigger you
because this topic, it kind of proves what I've been saying. Like
which point? You've been saying a lot. Which part of what you're saying?
About how Black women are spoken about and how we're represented. How we're perceived, how Black men talk about us out there on social media.
So how do you feel Black men talk about you as Black women on social media in 2021/22?
Do you know what? I'll be honest. There's a lot of awareness now about how Black women are perceived and how Black women have been treated. I'm guessing that's where soft life came from. This whole thing of we don't want to be labeled as a strong woman anymore. We want to have like a soft life, all of that. And there are a lot of Black men out there that do not subscribe to the insulting or like bringing Black women down, which is absolutely great. Like there's actually a lot. Most of the men in my life, they don't talk about Black women like that. But we are seeing, I don't know if we can call it a return, because some people are saying it's an uprise of podcasts where men are talking about Black women in derogatory ways. I think that Black women have experienced men talking about them in this way for so long anyway, like way, way, way before now. It's just that now there's podcasts and everyone's jumping on this podcast thing, which I think people have been podcasting for time, but obviously because of the pandemic, people have jumped.
It became a wave.
It's become a wave. It's become a thing. Yeah. And I just think it's just allowed some Black men, or men in general, not even just Black men, to think that they can now come and bring their so-called opinions and ways of thinking onto a podcast And it's like, this is the reason why you're hearing girls saying things like, where are the men that build houses? Instead of you to be building house and, putting up shelves, you're talking on a podcast about stuff that is not even important. Like, if you're gonna, okay, fair enough, there's podcasts out there that's just for entertainment and banter and for like social commentary like us. However, like, at least let it have some substance. Like, it's not every day bash the opposite sex or the opposite gender. Do you know what I mean? So I just feel like
I hear you.
These guys just need to give it a rest, man. Just give it a rest, because it looks silly now, But
I mean, with the Brittany Renner situation, she pulled up on a particular podcast. I mean, she was invited as a guest,
yeah,
and in the middle of her speaking as a guest, she just turned up on them. I wasn't expecting it, and she shut them down. I haven't watched the whole clip.
She switched up on them within 10 minutes of the episode.
Oh, was it right at the beginning?
It was at the beginning. She was like, well, like, what are you saying?
Yeah, it was a lot.
What are you saying?
I weren't ready for it. I weren't ready.
She literally did a Cardi B. She's like, what was the reason? Without saying those words, if that makes sense. She's like, what? What was the reason? What do you get out of it? How do you feel? And then she was like, if I said your podcast was shit, basically, I know that it makes me feel good. So like, trying to prove that they must get a good feeling from
putting down
black women. And do you know what? There's another really popular podcast that's just men, and they also have some real suspect commentary about commentary about black women. And it's like, they're really popular. They've been going on for time, and they're UK based. But it's just like, obviously, like, I still listen to them anyway, because it's not as bad as the podcasts that Brittany
that we're talking. Yeah.
But they still say some stuff and make some certain comments, and it's like, we need to move away from that in this day and age. Like,
okay, what's your thoughts on Kevin Samuels?
I haven't actually watched a full episode of anything that man does. I see clips that go viral, because he seems to go viral.
Based on the clips, then, yeah, based on the clips.
He's a misogynist, in my opinion.
Do you think?
Yeah. He's a misogynist. I don't think he likes women. I genuinely think that men that talk about women in that way, they don't like themselves, and they don't like women. There's more things to talk about. Go and get a hobby.
No, I get I get that, but I think his come up was doing man, I can't think of the word, but he was like doing a similar thing, but for men, trying to help men. And then basically he exploded into popularity when he then approached women with advice instead of the men. And it kind of went more viral. And that's where, but like, the reason why I brought him up is because he's an interesting one for me, because I do find a lot of people, especially women, have like negative opinions of him. But he's the only one that I kind of don't have a negative opinion of. Like, maybe because I see the logic in what he says a lot of the time.
All he says is, it's your fault. So women will call up. All the clips I see, it's literally like women calling up, telling them their relationship problems, and somehow, which way or form, it's, yeah, that's your fault, sis. Literally.
But I mean,
just said in different ways, and
But I don't like
But I don't like victim blaming, and I feel like a lot of people, there's this generalization that women don't take accountability, but men don't take accountability either. And
but
I think it's very techie. I think it's techie. No, I'm not saying it's talking about general. I'm saying even if let's say between you and I, let's say you come and say to me, oh, I'm going through this dilemma, whilst there are things that you could probably do differently as well, there's still things that the other person can do that's outside of your control, okay? So But I think more balanced, personally.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I am. But I think with him, he doesn't think in a balanced way. It's still very much, that's your fault, sis. And I don't like it. And it's very dangerous when that message comes from the opposite sex, which I've spoken about in a
Mm-hmm.
previous episode before. I think if it was woman to woman and a woman was saying, listen, sis, like for real, like you can do better. These are the places where you can do better. It would be received a lot better. But when it comes from a man, it's like, how dare you? Because I've come to you to tell you that I'm having problems with your gender, and you're turning around and telling me that's all my fault. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
It's
know,
kind of
but
like it's kind of
the
like
scenarios that he,
it's kind of
I was going to
like
say the scenarios that he speaks on are more often than not uh, women who are sort of chasing really, really high earning men, like elite class men in terms of people with big, big, big bank balance and that kind
but
of
there's
stuff.
nothing wrong
And
with
so he
that.
just tries, no, that's fine. But he just tries to outline the kind of things that those guys go for and the kind of things that the guys don't.
But
And a lot of the time
his
because a lot of
approach
the
is
time
still
in the
attack.
videos, but a lot of the time a lot of the time, the ladies that call in, they simply don't want to accept the things that he's highlighting that are less favorable to them. Like he just tries to outline, like,
That's
look, this is
cool.
what those kind of guys go for,
Cool.
and then
That's
you're
fine.
like XYZ,
That's
yeah, and
fine.
but they never want to hear it, and that's
But
why
the
I'm like, why did
approach.
you call in?
No, but the approach. I remember, like, we edit our videos. We know what we want to include and what we don't want to include. I feel like he probably goes for those callers because I find it hard to believe that every single woman that calls him is calling him about the same thing. He must have callers that have different questions, but he's picking those callers because it suits the brand that he's created for himself. And then on top of that, I feel like he uses it as an opportunity to, like, bring them down. He attacks them. All the clips I've seen, he's never spoken calmly, he's never spoken respectfully. He's always coming at them in like a bitchy way, like really petty way, really like
I hear what you're
antagonizing
saying.
way. And that's why I don't watch the full clip, because if that's what I'm seeing, I don't want to see more of that. I don't want to see a man talking to a woman in that way. That's not content I want to consume. And
But I think you have to also,
even if he's making sense, the approach, the way he's saying what he's saying, straight away to me, it's like, nah, I can't even co-sign that. I can't get involved with that. Sorry.
yeah, I think his conversations are quite 360, but only the clips that have collisions and conflict are gonna go viral. If you know what I mean,
Yeah, but
like
you
he'll
just
have
said earlier,
shows where
but
there's loads of
yeah, and that's
different
true.
people
Like,
on the show.
yeah, of course. But you just said to me that most women call in to say that they want high value men, and most of them argue with him. So that suggests to me that in all his episodes, every single caller that comes in, he ends up arguing with them, and it turns into an argument. I don't need to watch a man arguing with a woman about something, bringing her down in that moment. You can still talk to her with some respect, even if she's not willing to hear it. Be like, well, okay, well, you called in, I gave you the advice I wanted to give you. Take it or leave it, and that's it. Not like going back and forth. Sometimes I've seen some clips where he's like cussing them, and it's like, you didn't have to go that far. And I get it for entertainment value to go viral, but where's the respect? Where's the respect? Like,
Yeah, I will be honest. I haven't seen clips of him full out cussing, as in, well, there's been conflict, but
100%.
in terms of watching episodes, I've never seen him lead with that. He always leads with the same kind of calm, etc. They have their
Yeah,
exchange,
fair
and then.
enough. I don't like him from the
But
clips
I do
I've
think people
seen.
come on his show also to fight him, if you know what I
Well,
mean.
yeah, because think about it this way. Like I said, I've not watched the full episode, but the clips that I see, he comes across as like, I'm high and mighty. I think I'm that guy, and I'm gonna come here and put you in your place as a woman and tell you that, and that doesn't We don't need to hear that. So if I was to call in, I'd probably come with some smoke as well. You can't, like, it's you can say what you want. No, don't say what you want. You can give advice because that's the whole point of the show. But it's the way you do it. It's the
Yeah,
way
yeah,
you
yeah.
do it. It's how you say it, not what you say most of the time. So
I think that kind of speaks to the point that a lot of these podcasts that we're talking about may have individuals on them stating their opinions, giving advice, etc., but they're not actually providing edifying content. Like there's no aim at education. It's just,
yeah,
this is my
yeah,
opinion. I think that this opinion is the way, and
yeah.
then this is it, if you know what I mean.
Do you know what? It's fine. It's great. I like discourse in podcasts. Actually, most of the podcasts I watch, it's either full on comedy where people are just having a casual conversation about stuff, and it's their rapport and banter that I enjoy, or it's discourse. It's like people discussing their opinions. That's okay, but like I said, it's the topics you choose to discuss as well as how you discuss it, and you
Yeah.
can have opinions about things without being disrespectful to any community or any social group. So, for instance, in previous episodes, I've had opinions about men in general. But I wouldn't say I was disrespectful about them because I think it's pretty clear that I love my black men.
What
Do you
you
know what I'm saying? Like there's a way that you can express your opinion without actually bringing down a whole demographic, without belittling a whole demographic. And black women, let's face it, black women are very sensitive to this because we've been experiencing it for so long. We don't want to hear it anymore.
Yeah.
And this is part, I feel like it's part of the reason why, and I'm not saying that black women don't do this as well, or women in general don't do it, because remember there's the whole men are trash conversation that was going on for quite a while. We don't hear it as much anymore. It's still there though, but we don't hear it as much. So there's still men are trash and all that. Cool. But what I wanted to say was when it comes from men to women, it's just a little bit more, to me, it's just a little bit more insensitive, given the fact that feminism has tried to, we've always wanted to be put on an equal footing, and it's still a very patriarchal society that we live in, and so it just feels like another attack on women or another way for men to bring women down. And when it comes to relationship talk, there's a lot of people that are tired of hearing relationship conversation because it's turned into both genders blaming the other gender for why it's difficult to date in this climate,
Yeah.
rather than it being okay, well, we know that there are these issues. What can we do to improve it, to make the dating scene easier to navigate through? We're not having those conversations. Instead, it's always like men against women,
There
particularly
is a lot of
black
that
men
actually. Yeah.
against black women. And the focus needs to be, how can we as a community be better, and how can we be more inclusive as a community, rather than how can we divide ourselves. So
Yeah.
the
I
narrative
think
needs to be
inclusivity
different.
is, yeah. I think inclusivity is definitely a big touch point, because that's the main thing that I see when I look at the culture, is how much men and women are, or not even men and women, black men and women specifically, are pitted against each other. I'd say that there's always going to be, the divide of gender based on, sexism. So generally speaking, you're always going to have a divide between men and women. But I think black men and black women, in a more nuanced way, have a lot of societal divide as well, especially if you start to look to like American music, at least, still
Yeah.
having a big influence on the black community. They still, it's quite strange, I think, because there was a moment in time, maybe around maybe it was around 2008, somewhere around there when neo soul was big and music felt like it was becoming a lot more like wholesome, a lot more conscious.
Yeah.
Even the rap, if you know what I mean. Not that there wasn't gangster rap, but like everything just felt like it was a little bit more considered for a point in time. And then if you look at like American music now, it's like folded back like treble, like the intelligibility of some of their artists is incredible. How low, like how dumb the narratives are that they push and how basic some of the things that they say. And then I do love the fact that women within hip hop have really actually taken many steps forward and have like a place to shine within that very male dominated scene. But then on the flip side, it's so polarizing because, like, for example, I was with Cardi B from the jump, from the come up, not from the TV. Was she in Love and Basketball? Which not from the show because I don't watch TV. Love and Hip Hop, sorry, Love and Basketball, the film. Not from the show because I don't watch TV. But as soon as she stepped onto the show, she did like an interview with the Breakfast Club or something, and I was like, that one is strange, but the energy, I don't know. She hadn't even had her teeth done yet. It was just like, I don't know what it is about her, but I can feel the honest energy. I can feel the desire, like the hunger for success. I wouldn't say the talent is all the way there, but you only need 10% talent if you got 100% drive, if you know what I mean. And I felt it. So I was like, I'm watching. And she blew up in like less than a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Every second of it. Every word she says. And her 2 mixtapes before she, dropped her album and stuff were explicit. But I loved it. I love Lil' Kim. Explicit. That's not my issue. My issue is like, it's like as soon as the women get to the same level as the guys, they almost do the exact same thing. And so now you have the same power pulling in the opposite direction, if you know what I mean. There used to be, it's just frustrating.
So, sorry, are you saying music has something to do with?
Oh, I think it has a lot to do with it.
I just think it's social media. It's just social media because, listen, the music industry hasn't really changed in terms of dynamics. The type of music we get has changed, but in terms of dynamics, it hasn't really changed. The reason why I say that is when Cardi B came out, they started comparing Cardi B to Nicki Minaj. There was some beef there. When Nicki Minaj came out, they were comparing Nicki Minaj to Lil' Kim. Back in the day, it was Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown.
Do you
understand? So it's always it's not changed how.
No, it's not. Works. It's not that it's changed.
So I feel like I think it's social media. I think what it is everyone has a platform to talk in a public forum. And so what that's led to is people hiding behind their podcasts, their tweets, their Instagram posts, their glasses, and talking. Yeah. And that's fine. Everyone's got freedom of speech and stuff. What's happened now is because there are no real repercussions for,
and there's no regulations.
And that's my point. No repercussions for hate speech. And let's face it, when women go on about men are trash, but they take it to the extreme, and vice versa, when you get men on podcasts, they're berating and belittling Black women or women in general, that's hate speech. And there's no repercussions for it other than they might get cancelled, but cancelling someone doesn't work. In fact, it gives them more clout, in my opinion. We can discuss that in another podcast episode, but that's what it's created. And then what happens is you get other podcasts like us and others, or like the Shade Borough or any other sort of like cultural commentating platforms come out and start talking about the issue, or whoever said it or whatever. That gives them more clout. More people go and watch whatever it was, or go look at whatever they said or whatever. And then there's more discussions about it for about a week until the next thing comes along. That's the most that's going to happen. My issue with it all is there is nothing wrong with everyone wanting to have a platform to speak. And I think, in a way, the whole point of social media was to bring people together so that
Yeah.
people can talk more, so you can reach more people. Fine. But can we have respect for each other, please? That's all. Just
Yeah.
respect each other. You don't have to agree with people, but respect them. No hate speech. No, yeah, like.
Do you know what another thing is? I met up with my friends. I forgot this was a really good weekend actually. Met up with some friends on Saturday,
Yeah.
or maybe it was Friday. Lord
Yeah.
have mercy, I don't know my days. Either way, it was a group of man them, different type of man them. You know when I say girls are sport for choice, that's all the mans I was talking about, but they're all taken. But that's all the guys that I think of, and I'm like, no, there's loads of nice guys. Anyway, naturally, as soon as we met, we all start having some really deep, wholesome conversations about everything, and a similar thing happened maybe a fortnight previous to that when me and my fiance went to go and meet my friend and their fiance.
Mm-hmm.
We just got into like really deep, wholesome conversation. And to be fair, the reason why I'm mentioning both of them is because both of them felt like conversations, yes, but also therapy, yes. And what I think and feel like is happening with, especially with these podcasts and some of the all male ones, but podcasts in general, is that people gather to have conversations, but actually they sort of embark on a bit of a therapy session that's public and documented, but no one really knows that's what they're doing. And so a lot of things come out that aren't necessarily just for open ears. And actually, this is something you should be discussing further in a different domain. And it's good that you have a domain to share and to open up. Because guys didn't really used to have that kind of, like, it's almost a vicarious way of having a therapy session, if you know what I mean.
So
Because
this brings us nicely into our main topic, because we haven't even done that yet. We've not even introduced that yet. So the main topic for today is we wanted to unpick these male podcasts, or the rise of male podcasts is the phrase that people are calling it on social media, and basically the effectiveness of it, right? So I kind of agree. I agree with what you're saying about it to an extent, about the use of these podcasts, that they're using it to kind of voice, I guess, their traumas. Because when people have such opinions, it comes from trauma, whether they want to accept that or not. But my issue with, do you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with all male podcasts. Like, there's some really great ones out there. Like, I always talk about the 90s Baby Show because they're my favorite all male podcasts. And they've got the balance right. Like, they talk about these things. Some, like, they had the whole they didn't, was it Women Are Trash? I can't remember what they called it, month, where they basically was like, we're having it from the girls, basically. But they didn't do it in a way that was like disrespectful, if that makes sense. So,
or exclusionary.
Yeah, or exclusionary. I still watched every single episode that they put out that month. So there's a way that you can there's a way that it can be done. The problem is that, I mean, the podcast that we don't want to name that Brittany went on, they said, one of the guys was like, well, the reason why we have this podcast is because, women always go on about men, and there's women out there that are like gold diggers, and like we want to create a forum where we can like advise men on how to deal with women like that. And it's like, so that's what your whole podcast is going to be about.
Yeah, that's
every single week. How long is that going to last?
Basis.
That's your basis. Like, okay. And there's nothing wrong with creating a space for those type of conversations. But again, just make sure you do it in a respectful way. And I just want to say, yeah, I mean, we had Movember, Mental Health Month for men, right? And I didn't see much content, even from men, about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the point I want to make is there are more pressing issues for you to educate or even discuss in a therapeutic way on your podcast that affect men. For example, you might want to talk about mental health. You might want to talk about career, like how to get a career, or how to get up the career ladder. You might want to talk about just trying to think of other male issues that we know of that people don't really go into. You could even go into things like how to navigate in relationship when you've not had a good example. Maybe you don't have a father figure as a man, and how do you then become a husband and a father, and how do you navigate in that space when you didn't even have a male figure in your life? Those sorts of conversations,
to set an example,
those sort of conversations would be more meaningful than every single episode you want to be talking about gold digging women and how men can avoid that. You just see what I'm saying?
Very dry.
There's so much more.
I agree.
There's so much more. And I saw something on Twitter today actually where it was like a general question, like, men, like when you're going through something serious, who do you turn to? And these men were like, nobody, because nobody cares about men. But that's not true. You lot should be caring about each other. Because I know that if I'm going through something, I know at least 2 women I can call besides my mum and be like, I'm going through something, and have a deep conversation with them. I don't think that men, and you probably won't agree, but I don't think that men actually cultivate deep, meaningful friendships with each other. I think it's all surface level.
So you sent me this Twitter thread.
Yeah.
And I read some of the comments, and I had to reply straight away to someone because I was like, what on earth are you saying? She basically said something similar to what you've just said.
Yeah.
And I was, but in fact, what she said was different to what you said. You just highlighted an opinion.
Yeah.
But she said, and that's why I don't care. And I was like, well, so you just don't care about... I was like, actually, I can't liken the two. Yeah, it's different. She was like, I don't care because men don't cultivate and they do it to themselves. I was like, whoa. Anyway.
Honey, you're taking it too far.
Yeah, she did levels. That sounded like some hate speech. In fact, that's what I said.
That was hate speech.
Yeah, I was like, definitely reading like hate speech against men, but we'll keep it moving.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, again, I guess I am the anomaly to the rule because I feel like all of my relationships are quite deep and beyond the surface level, even if the relationship sort of is with a person that's more in passing. It's still a much deeper level relationship that just has a more casual
if you was going
vibe
through,
to it.
let me ask you a question. Apart from your partner, if you were going through like a really dark time, do you feel you can call on your boys and be like, guys?
Of course. Without fail. Like, I'm not saying that every single one of my boys is the guy to call. But I've got loads of people, and it also depends like what kind of dark is this?
Any dark,
financial dark? No, but I feel like I've got different people for different things. Like
okay.
Because I've got friends at different distances, but like if it's like a financial dark, and I kind of need to talk to somebody, but I also need someone who has a bit more business acumen because the issue I'm having is more that way inclined. So I need a shoulder and also some wisdom. Then I'll be like, that's my guy. That's my guy for that.
Yeah, that's how I operate as well. That's how I operate. Because when I saw that tweet, and I think it came from a TikTok actually of different guys responding like, no one, because no one cares, no one. And it's like different demographic of men as well, different ages,
literally
from different races. So it was like
and boys.
So it's like, wow. So this is a common thing. Then it's not like just black men. It's
it kind
men.
of is.
But why is that? And you can't blame women for it. Because it starts with you. So if you're with your friends and you can't tell them that, I'm going for a heartbreak, for example, or I'm feeling suicidal, or I'm going through this issue. If you can't talk to your boys about that, are they really your boys?
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like,
do you know what I mean? Like, you can have friends for
I think it's.
For me, I have friends that are for social reasons. Like, if I want to have a good time, I know what friends to call to go out. When it's time for, Dami's having a hard time and I need to have a heart-to-heart, I know what friends to call. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everyone's, well, I feel like most women are like that. We know.
I feel like my friends are the same friends,
But if you're going to tell me you have not one friend or not one male family member at least that you can go to when you're going through a difficult time, and I know I don't want to be insensitive. I know that men, because of toxic masculinity, I know that men have been like raised or socialized to believe that they have to be strong, and it's not masculine to cry, and it's not masculine to share how you feel and blah blah blah. But this is 2022. We've debunked that to an extent.
Yeah, but debunking something in this 1 year, it doesn't change what you've been raised as.
It's not 1 year.
It doesn't change your upbringing.
It doesn't change your upbringing, but the fact that we're more open to fluidity when it comes to masculinity and femininity in both men and women. Yeah.
Of course, and we'll see the benefits of that.
And that's been happening for some time.
Let me finish.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish. What I'm trying to say is, it's not something that just happened in the last year. It's been happening over some time, and we've got to a place now where people are a lot more accepting. There's a long way to go, because that's why there's still things like homophobia and stuff like that, misogyny and stuff like that. But there's a lot more fluidity between masculinity and femininity. Every episode I will always mispronounce a word. Just get used to it. So there's a lot more fluidity, and there's a lot more acceptance of that, and there's more awareness of it. So like, let's say now you've been raised to be a strong, like you've been raised, it's not masculine for you to cry. Surely you should have a safe space with at least one or two of your boys, one of your mandems, where you could be like, rah, like, for real though, why is it that like we've been raised to and then you create a safe space amongst yourselves to discuss that in more.
Yeah, but everyone's got to feel the same way. Like, we've debunked it in society now, but that's only if you think of society as being one whole thing, then it's fine, but it's not. It's many fractures living amongst each other, and just because you're tapped into a space or a vibe or whatever it may be that has accepted men being a certain way, your friends that you've formed across your life, they may not be from the same space. Then you
should be questioning your friends then, surely.
No, and but you forge them in your life.
Question your friends instead of going on camera and creating podcasts where you're there blaming women for all your woes. Okay,
it's not as simple as that.
It is.
It's
and
not.
I even speak for girls as well. Like, rather than all men are trash, how about you think about every guy I've dated, there's a pattern. Maybe it's the type of guy I'm going for. You know what I'm saying? It's the same message. Like, you choose your friends. You don't choose family, but you choose your friends. So if you feel a certain type of way, and you feel like your friends, every single friend you have, not one of them fits your way of thinking.
No, choose different friends. I'm saying that's if you're enlightened. Think of it this way, and this is like I'll just give a random made up scenario. You've grown up in ends. You've made your friends in ends, and they're just the man them from the block. Everyone gets along. Everyone has a good time. You go through life. You evolve. Everyone evolves. Life does that to people. Yeah.
If you're not evolving, something's not right.
Of course. But you've evolved to the point where, you don't have a problem with the fluidity of genders. And you're starting to see that, I can have feminine energy if expressing yourself is that. Or you just feel like it's okay to express myself to people, etc. But the life you've lived is not necessarily the life your friends have lived, and they may not have come to the same conclusions at the same time. That doesn't make them bad people.
No,
they've
it doesn't.
Grown up through what they've experienced, and you've done the same. So now you're at a point where, in terms of where you are mentally, you're not at the same place that they're at. But those are your friends. It's not easy to just pick up and find a whole bunch of new friends. But what I'm saying is,
remember.
So now there's a problem where I need to express something, and these are my friends, and we're not in the same place.
Remember I said to you earlier, and you said it yourself, you have friends for different things. So
no. Me personally, I've got no problem. I'm like a social butterfly.
So I'm coming to come and tell you that what you're saying, I hear it. But if you've got friends, if you're you need to have friends for different things is the point I'm trying to make. So you can keep your friends from ends who still think the way that they think. And actually, there is a little bit of responsibility on you to try and enlighten them as well. Like, if I have a female friend who's homophobic and I'm not homophobic, yeah, and she makes a homophobic comment around me, I'm going to let her know that that is not okay and the reasons why. Because if I've grown in that area, although I've never made homophobic comments before, I've never been homophobic, but let's say I was, and I've grown and I've realized, I've seen the light. Do you know what I mean? I've my way of thinking has changed, has evolved. I have a responsibility as a friend to tell you that and try and get you to grow as well and evolve as well. But that's a different thing. Put that to the side. But let's say you don't want to do that, or they're not ready to receive it, or they're not ready to hear that. That's absolutely okay. We're still cool. We can still hang out sometimes, but I'm still going to go out and find more friends who are more like me. Birds of a feather flock together. And if I'm looking at my circle and we're not evolving from each other, then what am I doing here? Doesn't mean I can't be your friend. Doesn't mean you can't be an acquaintance or someone I know or someone that I used to know or someone that I chill with a little bit here and there. But that doesn't absolve you from finding people that are like you, like-minded like you, or people that you can grow with. And you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. You might have mandem that are not ready to receive or even on that wavelength. But then if you're gonna still sit there with that same mandem and that's who you chill with day in, day out, and you're not gonna find other people that can help you to grow and expand your horizons mentally and in other aspects of your life, then if you get dragged down from that crowd, that's your fault because you have a responsibility. That's why I said you choose your friends. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, we're all adults here. Not everybody's an adult, but in these conversations, we're all adults. These people that are doing these podcasts are grown men. They're grown men. There's other things you can talk about. When we talk about suicide rates, more men commit suicide than women. You can't just blame women for that. You lot are friends. You've got boys. Why are you lot not talking to each other? Why are you lot not being there for each other? Why are you not hollering at your boy to check if he's okay? But the only time you lot want to talk is when you talk about girls, whether it's how many girls you slept with, or what girl you want to get, or the fact that you feel that women are trash or women are gold diggers, even though you don't have no money for them to dig for. Do you understand?
I don't think I've had that conversation.
But no, I don't think. I'm not saying you. No. I'm talking about these podcasts.
I'm just trying to
do you understand? Like I know, like I've got a brother. I know when he's talking to his boys sometimes, some of the things that they're talking about is girls. Oh, did you see that one? Or like, me and she did a thing, Like I know guys talk as well. Guys have loose lips, girls. Just know they have loose lips as well. Okay, so I know that, but there's more. There's not to say that. What I'm saying is balance.
There's more to talk about. Yeah,
balance. Sometimes talk about stupid things, but more time, make sure your boy can call you when he's going through something deep. The responsibility starts with yourselves. Women have always, and I know it's because of femininity, and it's more acceptable for women to be soft and emotional because women are emotional. And so it's easier for us to have these discussions with each other to an extent. But I still think that men have a responsibility to be there for each other. I think a good friend as a man, I feel is the guy that's like, you know what, bro, holler at me if something's whatever, and you lot can actually have that conversation. And it doesn't have to be, if you lot don't want to be doing crying and all that like girls do, like mad emotional, but at least be able to say, bro, I'm going through something, this is what I'm going through, and talk about it in a logical way, seeing as men are more logical than women. Do you see what I'm saying? But still give each other the space and the forum to have those conversations.
But the reality is, thinking back to your conversations with some of your gal them, or where you've been at in life or whatever, you've definitely heard some of your girls cry, if not all of them, or you've definitely cried with them. And
I've got some hard-bodied friends that refuse to cry.
I mean, I'm sure some people they're tough. They're too tough for that. I'm not.
But they still feel like they can, when they're ready, they can come and holler at me and be like, "Damn, this is what I'm going through." And I know that.
But that's what I mean. That all those tears, they're not for nothing. Like releasing them tears is necessary.
Yes,
is why you've heard so many of your friends cry. And until such a point where men are able to cry, you're still going to have issues, because conversation is only half of it. Sometimes you just need to let the pain out, and then you know what I mean, you can move on from there. Sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes.
I agree.
And I don't think that space exists yet. Society, like, I don't think women accept it. I don't think men accept it. It's just not. We're not there.
But this is why I'm saying it should be something that men. If you want to start an all man's podcast, that's something that the society needs. We don't need another podcast where you're there belittling, insulting women, especially black women. We don't need that. You lot need to be. You lot need to be helping each other out. Start there.
I mean, I guess I think that's what those guys think they're doing.
At the expense of women.
Yeah, at the expense of something else.
But it doesn't need to be that way. We need to respect each other.
I think it's scarier as a concept. I mean, I've already got something patterned in my mind that I've had cooking away, like, I'm gonna do this, but everything needs to align, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the concept is so much scarier to just address on the head. Guys, we know you have issues. Like, it's not every day, call Frank. No, we just need to talk, innit? We need to have emotions. We need to be able to have these discussions, work through things, give each other advice, heal the traumas of having absent fathers or whatever it may be, or poor examples of fathers, or just not having that relationship, even though you know exactly where he is and he just ignores you. Or, you know, it's all of that. People need to be able to talk about that in as open a fashion as when you see the girls in the movies just crying and coming around with the Haagen-Dazs and the tissues and doing up sofa date, all that crap.
Yeah.
That needs to be able to happen to anybody. Which, remember that time, I can't even remember what episode or if we even had it, but when I said, if one of your friends like walked in the room just bawling, it would be normal. It wouldn't be normal, but you'd be like, oh snap, so-and-so's crying, what's going on? And you know what I mean? You're ready to be at the defense.
Yeah, it's
you know
definitely,
what I mean?
But, I mean, like I said, women have been more socialized to be nurturing naturally. And it should, well, I shouldn't say it should come to women naturally, because it doesn't to some. But it is somewhat perceived as a natural skill that women have to be nurturing and, you know, sensitive to those type of emotions or those sorts of occurrences. Men are voicing out more and more that they need those spaces, so they should create it. That's the point I'm making. If more and more men are saying, I have no one to talk to because nobody cares, then why don't you lot care for each other first? See it as self-care. We care. We look after each other first. Is. And then after that, you know, there'll be a change. Most of these guys are hurt. They're actually salty. They're salty. They're salty. Maybe some girl that they really liked rejected them. Now all of a sudden,
happens loads.
Now all of a sudden, women are trash. Women are gold diggers. Maybe they took this girl on bare dates. She didn't spend a dime. She didn't spend a penny. And in the end,
wasted man's time.
And in the end, he didn't get what he wanted from her, be it relationship, sex, whatever. And now he's salty. What? I spent bare peas on this girl, you know, and I didn't get none. Me. Well, do you know what? Never say never. And it's the same thing with women. Girls have been hurt. This guy has used me. He cheated on me. He this, he that, blah blah. Now all of a sudden, all men are trash.
All men are trash.
Everyone's traumatized. Everyone's traumatized. But either go speak to a therapist or go and talk to a friend or someone in a safe space but do it in a respectful way where it doesn't turn into, I'm now gonna insult the opposite gender or whatever gender. Yeah. Like, let's not do that. Let's do this in a mature way. Do you see what I'm saying? Please. So I think it's fine. I think it's fine for men to have podcasts, but can they make it more valuable, more useful, more edifying, more? We want growth, not, you know.
But again, just with regards to the music, because I did try and make a point about the music. But this is where, off the back of the point you just made, where you said everyone's, been through trauma, men and women. This is why I think the music is important, and there's no way for us to change the narrative of music. Even if I was like, all of my music is going to be, a certain way, I'm just one artist in a pool of millions. But the issue with the music is, instead of it encouraging people to have these conversations, discourse, find familiarities, know that they're not alone and that other people experience the heartbreaks, the confusion, etc. Instead, it more so provides anthems for people to celebrate their trauma. And so they become wrong and strong rather than come together. This is my issue with how it's progressed. And so like a lot of the big female hip hop anthems are literally the polar opposite of the big male ones. So the males are pushing this agenda and the women are pushing, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that's why I'm like, this is damage on damage.
Yeah. Music, everything influences everyone. From movies, TV shows, social media, music, family, friends, school, any institution, everything influences, right? But I genuinely believe that if you have trauma, it starts with you on how you heal from that.
Of course.
And, if I know that I'm going for a mental health issue or an emotional issue, I feel like we live in a world now where people are more aware of how they can go about overcoming that thing. Fair enough, it takes a lot of guts to even go out and say, I'm tired of feeling this way, I'm going to do something about it. And even sometimes when you're going, like, I know when I'm going through my depression phases or going through serious anxiety, I totally forget everything I've learned from therapy. I totally forget all the resources that are out there for me.
Well, you kind of regress, innit?
You regress. You completely. It's like you just don't remember that those things are there. But this is why it's our responsibility to make sure that we are surrounding ourselves with people that we can be open and vulnerable with. And if you can't be open and vulnerable with at least one other person, because human beings we're not made to be alone. No man's an island. We're actually not, as humans, we're supposed to be in community. We're supposed to be a collective. So if you know as a collective that there is a void when it comes to being able to express yourselves, then the responsibility is on yourselves as a community to create the space where you can fill that void. That's my opinion on that. So, I don't agree with a lot of these females. Oh, I hate that word female, sorry. Women saying that men shouldn't have podcasts, that men should go back to building this, that, and the other. Because I think that actually fuels toxic masculinity. It doesn't debunk it or take it away or make it less toxic. It's making it more toxic. So I actually don't agree with those type of comments. However, I do think that if anyone's going to have a podcast, can it have a purpose, please? If it's going to be entertaining, then make it entertaining. If it's going to be, we want it to be edifying, we want it to be all about growth, then make it about that. But let's not make it a forum for hate speech and disrespecting each other, because nobody needs that. Everyone's going through something. Everyone's got trauma. Every single person has trauma. Amen. You don't need to add to people's trauma by talking reckless on a podcast. And that's my commentary on the whole thing.
And that's that on that.
That's that on that.
Got me zing.
That's that on that. Anyway, give us your socials. Give us your social. On the line. Online.
On the line. Yeah, me. Man's here, there, and everywhere.com. All the socials at the bottom. Yeah, I'm on Instagram, TikTok. Not that I post on there. Twitter. Not that I post on there. Even got my own website. Not that I've updated it this year, but hey,
but you're going to, because you need to give
all the tools.
You need to, because we need to give the people a reason to come and find you on your socials. So
exactly,
make sure you post.
So I mean, there's gonna be more music production videos and all that stuff coming. I just wanted to let the inspiration hit me, and it's hitting me now.
Can you lot find him on Spotify, please, and listen to his beats? Thanks.
Thank you.
And as for me, all my these things, them things there, just be and here. But basically, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter. I actually use Twitter way more than Instagram. Yeah. Follow me, guys. Subscribe. Like, follow me. I don't have that many followers. Why? Follow me.
Because you haven't dropped a single, but
do you know what it is? I'm like you. I'm not consistent, especially on Instagram. I'm not consistent. And there's content I'm planning on releasing. I need to get on with it. So how about you lot follow me, and hit me up in the DMs to kick me up the bum and get on with it, because I kind of just need to
hold each other accountable. Hold me accountable this year. This 2020, I'm gonna make sure you're posting every week. 2022. I went 2 years back in the past. I went pre-pandemic.
Can you imagine? Yeah. So, guys, thank you so much for listening. On Spotify, I know you can watch us now, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. Spotify. On Spotify, sorry. And on YouTube, for our YouTube watchers, thank you for watching and getting this far. In the comments, please let us know your opinions about the rise of male podcasts, and tell us a bit about what you think they should be using their space or platforms for, that you think would be a lot more edifying, a lot more useful, a lot more resourceful for men or women, because it doesn't have to just be men listening to their podcast.
I feel like it should start off with just being men for men, because the men for women is currently not working.
Yeah. Well, no, but there could be content that they could put out there for men for women. There's content they could be putting out there. So let's pop that in the comments, guys. Like, let's not discriminate or segregate, okay? Not on this podcast. That's not what we do here. And if you've got this far, hit subscribe. It's free. Hit the notification bell. It's free. We post 6 p.m. on Mondays every week. I make sure of it. So subscribe. Those of you listening to us on Apple Podcasts, please give us 5-star rating. It goes a long way. And you can do that on Spotify as well, by the way. You can give us a 5-star rating. And on YouTube, you can again, it's free. Anyway, until next time.
Peace. And beats. Garage beats.
Next week.
Dami Zayn on the ones and twos. Are you ready?
And boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
Jeez. And the big little box with the cardboard box and the whatever. I can't remember that rap.
I can't do.